Alright, so I figured it out. And here's the worst part. In order for me to figure it out, I had to watch someone's video of how they did it. Which means that you can't figure out how to beat these stuff. You would have to spend hours and hours trying to figure out how to beat this. You would have to watch other people's video how to beat it, which takes away from the fun. And I don't want to hear any of this garbage about Elden Ring, because people do the same thing in Elden Ring when they're stuck. They watch other people's video. In order to beat this, you have to have a specific weapon, and you have to upgrade that specific weapon, and you have to make sure the skill tree that you have is within the Machine Master one, where you tear off components and stuff on the enemy and do damage versus components. So the more damage they're taking versus the components, the more damage they're also doing as well, as the components damage expose the weak spot faster, and thus easier for you to kill them. And if you max it out, it makes it even simpler. So that's what that person did. That person leveled it up all the way to max 3 and ensured that they have this on. So you have to have this on, and then you have to have a specific weapon called the Vindicator Spike Thrower. Now there are other types of weapons you could use, but that Vindicator Spike Thrower is within that arsenal of the type of shitty weapons that you're given. But those weapons that you're given are all leveled up, on rank weapons, so they don't do the damage that you want because they're all on rank. I was able to get the Slitherfang's life to half, but if I had maxed out the Vindicator Spike Thrower at its highest level, or the Warbow, the shitty Warbow that it gave you at max level, or the actual spikes on the ground that you throw on the ground, specific spike that they give you to throw on the ground, specific weapons, you'll be able to have shards that you have.
Good to see you, Aloy.
So here's the thing, I'm curious, how then is someone able to purchase certain items, certain weapons, if it requires for you to, well, I wouldn't say, actually now I think about it, the spike thrower is not here, so okay, the spike thrower is not within the arena. It's not one of the arena things. Alright, so he probably got this spike thrower from somewhere else. The different rope caster was, or the plasma railgun was. If it was here, that means he would have to get 54 medallions to get one of those. That means he would have to play all the arenas on easy baby mode in order to get the medallions, and then start the challenges all over again. And then after the challenge are started all over again, he would then have to play the game on its highest difficulties after achieving and getting all these weapons on its easier baby modes. But he apparently didn't do that, and he got this weapon from somewhere else.
Come back when you want to look at some real gear.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out, since you are using the since in the arena
Walk with the 10.
you have to use a specific type of weapon. I'm gonna find out where I could get the Vindicator Spike Thrower that's a single launch. But the Vindicator Spike Thrower that I saw in his video, from what I could tell, This is the part that confuses me. In his video, the Vindicator spike thrower he has is the same one that I have. But I'm not allowed to use that spike thrower in the arena. They just use a standard spike thrower, not the Vindicator version. Which I'm curious about something. Like, does the game randomly select out of your arsenal what weapons you're going to use? Or is there a way for you to select that specific weapons that you want to use in order to do the mission? I'm curious because he said specifically that he was able to pick the Vindicator spike thrower and use it in order to beat the Slitherfang.
Or maybe you found tags stolen by the enemy.
Now I have like 4 explosive damage cores on it. Those 2 explosive damage cores you can find at the arena. The one that.
So I'm curious. I am very curious. Or maybe he's just using. Maybe he's just using the Vindicator for the first 2 challenges and afterwards. But we'll see. Let me watch the video completely at the Slitherfang challenge. If he's using the Vindicator, the same one I have at the Slitherfang challenge, then that means the people who made this game, Guerrilla, changed up their arena and gave you a different spike thrower and different weapons. And when you go into the the mission to do it, to do the arena battle, you will probably have to look at the type of spike thrower that they're giving you, and you will probably have to upgrade those specific type of weapons in order to level it up and use them within the arena. But here's the thing, even if you find those weapons, and even if you level up those weapons to their highest capacity, there's no indication that Guerrilla didn't change how you were able to do the missions, so on and so forth. Like, whatever upgrade capabilities you had towards the weapons, there is no indication that they would remove it as you were doing the challenge, or as part of the challenge is not to have any upgrade capability towards the weapons, even though the weapon has an upgrade. I'm just assuming this. But if he does use the spike thrower towards the Slitherfang, then that means that from the time he posted this video to what's going on now, to March 2022, the last update, that means Guerrilla has changed the weapons that you could use in arena. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my loadout and I'm going to remove every weapon that I have on, and I'm just going to equip the spike thrower, and I'm going to see what happens if I just equip that one weapon.
Medals are given to the best of our hunters. So is our best gear.
See, because in the video is showing that he's actually using the spike thrower, but it's showing not just the spike thrower. If I look at his weapon wheel, it shows all the required weapons that you're going to use, the standard one that I used. This damn video. It shows all the standard weapons that you're going to use. But it also shows that the spike thrower that you're supposed to be using in that battle, like the one that I'm using, is called the prototype spike thrower. And it's a green prototype spike thrower, and the max at max level 3 with a puncture of impact puncture of 30 and an explosion radius of 105. So I'm trying to understand Pause this and see what's going on here.
Medals are given to the best of our hunters. So is our best gear.
I know. As soon as I get leave, heading over to train.
The arena is where soldiers are made.
the arena.
Care to give it a try?
That I'm ready for the next cool route.
Show me your medals, champion, and I'll show you the best gear in the Clanlands.
I see what you're getting at. That's what the training's for.
Walk in French. Dreams of flight, I guess.
I heard your
Face off
brother
against
under Mark
machines and prove your worth to the clans.
Yeah, he won't shut up about it. One mark and he thinks he's good enough to challenge.
If you've got medals, you're worthy of our gear, champion.
No way he'll earn the other 2 marks.
He's going to try, and I hope I'm there to watch him get his ass kicked.
The arena is where soldiers are made. Care to give it a try?
New visions are just contraption. It's a strong sign that listens back in Haru's leadership.
And
If you've got
giant
medals,
lips, gears,
you're
and
worthy
mental
of our
iridium
gear,
if you
champion.
believe such things. So what?
Imagine what else they're capable of. They could build for us.
I'd sooner gut one of those drugs than make a deal with them.
Champion, you looking for a challenge?
You know what's a waste? If we didn't kick them all back, he's good.
Go with honor.
Earned any medals yet, Aloy? Or maybe you found tags stolen by the enemy.
You owe me 20 shards, okay? But you should know that I got some new pieces since we last Boruto. The arena match with the well,
Good thing I have a little something called
Spill some blood, earn some medals.
Talk yourself
That's what
up
we're
on
here
the
for.
You're a scab.
I heard your brother earned a mark.
Those rebel outposts need to be dealt with. The tags they've stolen returned.
Yeah, he won't shut up about it. One mark and he thinks he's good enough to challenge the enduring.
Yeah, so based on the video, a prototype spike thrower is what he's going to use. And you have to, his strat was to place down bombs and then throw the spike thrower after the solidifying charges into the bombs and to avoid it. And when the solidifying is down, you aim for the weak points in order to down it. And that was his strategy with regards to that. And that's how he was able to beat it. But I'm curious with regards to that because I was putting, I mean, it seems to not make that much sense to me because once you put a trap down, the time animation for you putting trap down and then the enemy charging into you is so close. So you would basically have to distract them with a spike, hit them once, and directly after you throw the spike, put a trap down, throw the spike, put a trap down. Kinda, you gotta throw the spike before it even hits the enemy and then put a trap down because the trap is so slow. So that's a method that I'm going to try. I'm going to try it 2 times. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to probably level up some more today. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to level up some more today and see how much I could level up and then try this challenge again if it doesn't work the next 2 times. So I'm going to probably give this woman another couple of more stuff, sell more resources, or I could get at least a minimum of 500. And after this, if this one doesn't work, yeah, I'm gonna probably call it a day on this guy for right now and continue on with the story and get stronger. So I believe I need more skill points to level up that machine master, where I could do off more component damage, and I need to get stronger with regards to using the bow, which means I need to unlock more stuff within the tree for damaging the bow, even though all nodes of the tree for the using the hunter Valor Surge for that isn't. And I know you're not allowed to probably use Valor Surge, a different Valor Surge while you're in combat, but I want to know that I need those actually Valor Surges to be leveled up anyway. especially for the one that I'm going to be using against the Silver Fang. So I'm going to try my best again. I'm going to try his method and see if his method works. I don't think it's going to work, but who knows? Alright, so here we go again.
That's her. Strongest of the outfit. No respect.
You should know that. The 10 stood firm. So will we.
Regala will strike soon.
Let's see how you do against our machines.
I was on difficulty easy.
Our
I
machines
gotta
will
switch
be
it
here
back
waiting
to.
for you.
I gotta switch it back to hard. Alright, so back to the same mode I was at before. Trying again.
Better ready yourself.
Now he so-called beat this on very hard mode, using the spike thrower and then explosive bombs on the ground. So we'll see.
It's not gonna back down. No good. Need ammo. Clipped it.
Okay, better. Gotcha. Now. Wire's not gonna stay. Without ammo or just extra weight.
can keep going. Can't set it on that.
There's no ammo for this.
Glide in.
Still in this fight.
Okay, I gotta say it. I gotta say it. That gun, that so-called good gun, the plasma gun, that's the worst gun in the entire fucking game. It takes so long to goddamn reload. It takes so long to reload. By the time you finish reload, you're already getting hit. It's the worst fucking gun in the game. The worst. That and the shredder. People say they're OP, but it's the worst. They're both the worst. The reload time is ridiculous. Not for fast enemies. It's the worst.
Our soldiers won't forget that fight easily.
This time I will make a trade with you. Have care.
I heard from our scouts in the room.
Wonder what brings the Chiefs champion. Welcome out.
All right.
The
what's
visions.
wrong?
Look at
I heard the champion conquered the arena, and I missed it. I was stuck on guard duty.
Ready to test your skills in the arena? Here I come. Much better.
Can't fire without ammo.
Sam,
See, this is how I know people are bullshitting when they beat this enemy. I'm like, unload everything I possibly have at this enemy. And she takes so long to reload that stuff. And this enemy is incredibly fast. Like, I know people are just bullshitting out their ass about how you beat this enemy. It's just bullshit. There's no way you die so many times to this enemy. It's not like it's something that you could easily achieve by doing 1 or 2 times. Or even 3 or 4 times. What easier time to beat this enemy and goes down easy. People are just such the biggest fucking trolls in the planet. They're so big as fucking trolls. I mean, they're terrible. And they like to put it like it's they're hot shit and it's easy. It's just bullshit at the end of the day. We can't just use this with spike thrower and some bombs on the floor. It doesn't work that way. Eventually you'll run out of spike throwers. Eventually you'll run out of putting stuff on the floor. And eventually the enemy's going to get up after he goes down for a first time. You have to take him down. And you're going to run out of every ammo that you have eventually for every weapon that you're using. So eventually you have to depend on the shitty ass throwing shredder weapon and the shitty ass plasma weapon that takes so fucking long to load. These weapons take long to pull back and then to throw. You need fast weapons for fast enemies. This isn't a challenge. It's stupidity. And people, you see that people will beat it in 1 minute and 20. You know for a fact that there's something that's going on there. You know for a fact that someone beat this thing 1 minute or 26 seconds. That's not just a strategy. There's no way. It's just bullshit. You just know when people are fucking bullshitters. They're using several things in order to win. Higher skill tree, the same method I'm using. They're using keyboards, and I'm probably not using controllers or anything. Whatever methods they're using in order to get high scores, but it's not just using controller and then playing the game. They're using other things. There's no way you could get one minute in something seconds for this enemy. There's no way. Using like, because the game specifically gives you the type of weapons that you're going to use for this boss. You can't use whatever. So you have to use different methods in order to take them down. So everything is primarily based on your skill tree more than it does with anything, and how strategy and how good you are at dodging. But it doesn't matter if you're how good you are at dodging. This is a boss that does AoE effects. So even if you dodge your attack, you'll still get an AoE blast. So it's not like it's something that you could just easily do and then hope that after a couple of tries you'll succeed. You can't get no 1 minute and 6 seconds. The people who have this have every probably skill tree in their damn thing leveled all the hell the way up. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And different skills of just putting down, using a thrower and then just putting down bombs. That doesn't work. Eventually you'll run out of these things. And eventually the enemy will get up fast enough. You're not going to do enough damage in order for the enemy to do what you have to do. Eventually you'll win after you like spend out majority of everything you have in your arsenal. So my strategy was working. I almost had him, but this freaking enemy does like too much goddamn AoE attacks. It's ridiculous. Jesus Christ, man.
Right, next idea.
So you see, this is what I'm talking about. When people are saying you just put, the actual bombs down on the ground, then you throw the spikes, and put the bombs down on the ground and throw the spikes. It doesn't work that way. The enemy won't work that way all the time. It's not going to. Enemy is not going to follow a pattern. It's going to move around the place. No matter what you do, the enemy is going to move around the place. Using a spike and then a grenade on a bomb at the appropriate time is not going to work. These people make these YouTube videos on how to do stuff, and that doesn't work all the time. It only works when you did it like multiple times, and it's chance roll. It's a chance roll. You can't throw it up and say, hey, this is the way you do it. All these people make these videos are just bullshit artists. I mean, the video how you do something will present themselves based on the person playing through the game, not based on the clip that they did. They clip the video, they upload the video, and they put it on the YouTube or wherever and say, this is how you do it. They don't show you as they're playing the game. They just show you when they succeed, and then they upload it. The fuck out of here, man. I'm like tired of these people on how to do shit, and like they never tell you the truth, man. They're all losers. That's why it baffles me how they could have like so many people following them on the channel and say this is how you. It's all bullshit, man. You know, you gotta know people for what they are. This is not an enemy when you're playing on very hard or hard mode. This person claims that they played it on very hard mode and they just use a spike thrower and just put bombs on the floor. But that's what I've been doing the whole time. But the enemy is not going to keep repeating the same thing every time you put a spike thrower. The enemy is going to do an AoE attack. The enemy is going to do a charge attack. The enemy sometimes is going to roll under the ground. The enemy is going to be unpredictable. It's not going to do the same thing over and over again. These people are bullshit artists, man. They're all bullshit artists. Period. Like, especially if you see them and they said, oh, nice run, and people commenting and saying nice run. It's all bullshit. You gotta know bullshit when you see it. Alright? Why do these people have so many files? Why do they do this? You know, just because you throw up yourself on social media, on this social media, this social media, this social media, this social media platform, does not mean that what you're saying is true. It's bullshit. We're in a society of bullshit. Will Smith going on stage smacking people and probably would get away with it. You know, the society's full of faggots like that. And yeah, I said Will Smith is a faggot, straight up bitching motherfucker. You don't smack a man on live television and then walk away like they actually did something. The man was joking. You take a joke, people say harsher jokes. Then you smack a man, you get away with all. He's gonna get away with that shit. Bullshit artists of the world, man. You know, fuck Will Smith and the horse he rode on and his fucking family. You know, if he had done that shit in any other neighborhood, they would have put him 6 feet under. So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to use the same method over and over again because there's no other method to do it. The method I'm using is working. You just have to know how to time it correctly and how to move fast. It's just that every weapon in my arsenal is so shitty and takes so long to do an attack. Like, it takes so long for the plasma to load up. It takes so long for the arrows to do their shooting against an enemy that moves extremely fast. I mean, the only thing that's working out for me is my throwing spike. It's doing the minimum amount of damage that it can. It's staggering them a little. Everything else, it takes forever to do. Like, the only thing that's staggering are the bombs. I don't know what to say, man. I don't understand how these people could be beating this thing at 1 minute and 6 seconds and so on and so forth. I mean, there is no strat to beat this at 1 minute and 6 seconds or anything like that. It seems like all bullshit, man. These people are using, straight up, not using controllers, using keyboards. Their skills and stats are probably way off the charts. They can't use different weapons. They have to use the weapons that they're given. And whatever strategy they use is the strategy that's working for them. But it doesn't matter what strategy you use or what strategy you're working for. This is a type of enemy that works its way around the situation. You know, you put something down, it does a different attack. You do one attack, it switch to a different attack. You know, you have to wait for the enemy to charge in, and the bombs aren't doing any effect. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't even matter if he does bombs. The bombs are not doing any type of actually effect on the enemy that's enough to do damage. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'll see. I'll see.
There. It's on fire! There's no more to fire.
All right, so that was what I use in order to beat this enemy. I use bombs on the floor, I use sticky bombs, I use throwers, I use fire, and I use fire. I use mostly fire bombs on the ground, fire traps, because once the mines, the bomb mines worked for a short period. You're only given a certain amount, 5 of them. Once those were completely out, and once the spike thrower was completely out, the enemy's level was a little below half. But that's not enough to beat the enemy. Spike throwers and stuff and timing those won't allow you to beat the enemy. You need those throwing bombs on the floor, those tripwires. You need those tripwires with fire arrows. The tripwires was what was getting the enemy. That's how you defeat the enemy, with the tripwires. The bombs on the floor, the tripwires. The spike thrower did hardly anything. All it did was stagger them for a couple of seconds. Most of the times it landed, but sometimes it missed. All that bullshit about, I see people getting 1 minute and stuff. That's lie. I came in at 6 minutes. I came in above the time. The max time you should be able to do the mission was given to do the mission is to be within the appropriate time to get the awards is 5 minutes. People get kill this thing in under 2 minutes. Under 2 minutes. There's something wrong there. That there's something wrong there if someone defeat that thing under 2 minutes. I was doing everything in my power. I was throwing spikes. I was running. I was timing attacks. I was throwing tripwires on the floor. I was putting down bombs. I was taking herbal medications. I was boosting power. I was doing ballast search. I was doing all things. The only thing I didn't use in that entire fight was that lame ass shredder. It takes forever to do. But I was using arrows. I was using tripwires. I was putting down bombs. I was throwing spikes. I was using Valor Surge. I was using herbs. I was using overcharge medication. Overpower medication. I was using smoke bombs. And I was putting down traps. And I think I might have taken one of the herbs for removing status effect. So I was doing that. I did 10 things in order to do that mission. I didn't do like 4 or 5 things that people were saying how they got and were able to accomplish the mission and complete the challenge. They just use spike throws, just sticky bombs and floors, use the valve search skill, and then use the switch to their bow in order to do hits on the different parts, and then that's it. 4 or 5 things. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. If you're able to do that, your skill tree has to be maxed out. You have to have got you way past level 50 in order to take the amount of damage that you're taking. But you're not going to see that in their videos. They're going to bullshit that. I did everything within my arsenal except using the Shredder Gauntlet. I used everything in my arsenal to defeat that enemy on hard mode except using the Shredder Gauntlet. I tried to run behind the enemy, does not work. The enemy moves around the moment you try to get behind them. I tried to charge closer to the enemy, does not work. The enemy will automatically try to make you push you away. So I kept at mid-range. I didn't stay far. And I used 10 different tactics in order to beat the enemy. And I didn't give myself time to think about what I'm going to put down. I move as fast as I can, as fast as the wheel allow me to do. And I did not depend solely on that lame ass recharge time for that plasma weapon, or the lame ass throw time for the shred weapon. People say those guns are OP and stuff. Those things are lame as fuck. Against a speedy enemy, you will die 8 times out of 10. You have to time those things when you use those weapons. You have to know when to hold down on it, because you got to hold down on that freaking button for that lame ass plasma gun. I used 10 things in order to beat that enemy. 10. and I still went over the max time limit just to survive, just to complete the challenge. So when I see people get landed on the ground, first thing I did was put down my smoke bomb. Then thereafter, I put down a trip mine, a trip wire, or trip mine, or however you want to. It's a trip mine. I put it down. I might have put one or two of them down. Then I backed up, took out my spear, and started doing the whole bullshit spear thing that guy in the video said. Landed, staggered him, just to get his attention. Let him do his charge thing. Threw another spear. Put more tripwires down around the field. Once the tripwires wore out, I knew I couldn't use tripwires anymore, so I had to use a different type of mine strategy. So that's when I started to depend on using the standard mine on the ground, and then using the tripwire, the other one, the fire one. So I used both of them. I was using both of them, and those have timing effects as well. It takes, when you're trying to do your slow motion effect, it doesn't seem to work that much. I use both of them. I was using both of them, and those have timing effects as well. It takes, when you're trying to do your slow motion effect, it doesn't seem to work that much when you're using tripwires, or you need an intense amount of concentration in order to do that. And that's another thing I want to say with regards to people who play this. If you beat this thing in under 3 minutes or under 2 minutes, your concentration for making things in slow motion is high as hell. You cannot tell me you beat that thing with method alone or strategy alone, because the game specifically give you those weapons and don't add no additional stats to those weapons. Your stats in regards to you achieving something within that mission is simply based on two things: your skills within your skill tree for your Valor Surge and your other firing skills, whatever is in your skill tree, and two, the tactics that you use in order to take down the boss, how you plant things on the field, when you got to time, when you got to jump out the way, and when you got to charge in. So you can't tell me that within the time, because that enemy is not going to give you time to do much attack at all. Slow motion is the only way you could slow down time for an enemy to not do specific attacks fast. So you're trying to tell me that you're so fast, that your concentration is so fast that you're able to execute something under 2 minutes? I don't believe it for a second. I had to use everything in my arsenal except the gauntlet in order to take that down. And I had no more health whatsoever. I had no more health. I had to depend on potions. And my last potion, I was on my last potion. Barely managed. And I believe I ran out of that last potion too. I had no more potion. It was between me and the monsters, and both our healths were in the red. So you cannot tell me that you could get under 2 minutes in this with the specific stats that the game give you in order for that arena challenge, because you can't bring in whatever you want, not for food that you're going to eat, not for medication that you're going to use. It tells you that you can only use a specific amount of bombs you could put on the floor, specific amount of medication you could take, specific amount of ammunition that you're going to have for throwing weapons or for shooting arrows, and eventually you'll run out. So you have to strategize how you're going to use it. This is how I know a lot of people are bullshit artists. All these people that have all these followers and are bullshit artists, man. It took me like 15 tries to take down this enemy. 15. Did any of these people who play this video, and I mean play their videos or their game ones, did any of them ever tell anyone how many times it took them to beat their ones? Probably took them a shit ton. Probably took them less time than I did, but probably took them a hell of a lot more than 2 or 3 tries, or even 4 tries. But they're never gonna say that. I put smoke bombs down. I put trip wires down. I put trip mines down. I put what else? I threw spikes with explosions on them. I use arrows, specifically ice arrows, because the enemy's weak to ice most of the times. Maybe a couple of regular arrows, but ice arrows most of the times. I use booster potions, both overcharged potions as well as potions for removing effects. I use medications for giving me back health of herbs. And other than herbs, I also use a different type of potion. I use potions and herbs. I use Valor Surge probably twice. I did it once, but I probably did it more than once. And let's see what else I did, because that's 8 things already. 8 things I use in order to take down the enemies. What else I did other than running away and dodging? Oh yeah, I also strategized where the enemy was and what time the enemy was going to do their physical electricity blast attack, and try to time it, and it worked most of the time. And I had to keep my eyes on the enemy at all times when it was moving, because the enemy always closes in on you and it was around you and you can't see, so you have to move around. Those other people who play these games didn't factor that in. They didn't tell you that shit. So I had to pay attention to my terrain and know when to attack and when to dodge. That's the 9th thing. And the 10th thing, I had to be patient and know when to strike. It wasn't just simply about attacking and laying everything on them. That's what I was doing on the regular regardless. But knowing when to strike directly after. And even if I didn't know when to strike, let's say I take that away. The 10th thing, I take the 10th thing away, and it's still 9. That's still 9 things. There's still 9 things I did. Oh yeah, my bad, not 9. The 10th thing. The 10th thing I did in order to defeat this enemy, which is on amateur, but it's on hard, regardless. Because I'm not going to fight the enemy on very hard. Never. The 10th thing I did was keep within the distance with regards to the enemy. I wasn't that far away, otherwise he would have did a long range attack that depletes a lot of health, and I wasn't close enough to take a lot of physical melee damage. I stayed at a minimum range, a medium range, or at the base in between range, as best as I could. And I guess you could call the 11th thing, I knew the enemy's weakness. But I think I stated that already. And if I didn't, that's the 11th thing. I knew the enemy's weakness. I knew where his weak spot was. I knew what his physical elemental weakness were. So you could basically say that's an 11th thing. But I'm just gonna do 10. I'm stuttering and I'm stuttering myself, and I'm not saying things clearly, and my words seem slurry and not fully functioning in my mouth because I'm angry. I'm angry that these people make these videos. I'm angry that the world is full of people like this. Not just for this game, but for many things. I'm angry that one of my favorite actors of all time, and I mean favorite, I mean when he was in his teens, I was 10 years old. When he became in his late 20s and started to do the Men in Black stuff, I was a teenager. When he became in his 30s and 40s, I was already in the military in my mid 20s. So I've watched this man my entire life. My entire life. From his first debut on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And to see that he's come this far in his life. And this is what he has become. This person that will assault another human being. When he snaps. Whenever he snaps. And no, this isn't a one-time thing with Will Smith. He has done this before. But mostly the times he's done it towards people who have actually done some type of physical aggression towards him. Or done something that's insulted him, but from a physical nature. Not from words. So, I'm taken aback by that. I'm taken aback by the bullshit I see in this game from people. I'm taken aback by people saying Elden Ring is better than this game, and I know it's not true. That this game is easy. I know it's not true. This arena battle just proves it. I'm taken aback by so much bullshit in this world. And it says Elden Ring is a 10 out of 10 game. It really isn't. I haven't even played it yet, and I know it isn't. Simply because I've evaluated the video of people gameplay off that game, and everything I see based on many things that you could possibly think of that should be in any video game. And no, just because it's in a specific genre, doing things for that specific genre does not excuse the fact that everything that applies to the word video game must be placed in video game. Elden Ring has never been strong with its story. Well, you can't excuse it for not being strong with the story. It's like, oh, Elden Ring is not a story game. Well, why, if it's not a story game, then that's already a point off. Because stories are part of everything in life. To remove the stories out of the game and then put it at 10 out of 10, then it can't be a 10 out of 10 if it doesn't have... 10 out of 10 dictates that it's the best at what it is. Not about the amount of things it has in it, but it's the best at what it is. It's like making the best pizza. Not all the different types of pizza exist and all the things that people put on pizza, but it's making the best type of pizza that there is. Best cheese pizza. 10 out of 10. But you can't compare its 10 out of 10 best cheese pizza to a different type of pizza that exists. Because if you're going to compare that type of pizza that exists to a different type of pizza that exists, then they're not the same. You can't call it best because that other type of pizza is designed specifically to be completely different than a regular pizza. If you're going to compare one pizza to the next, it has to fall into the same genre of type of pizzas. Cheese pizza, you can't compete cheese pizza with pepperoni pizzas because pepperoni pizzas has a topping. It has different type of ingredients to put placed towards the pepperoni pizza. You can't compare pepperoni pizza to like vegetarian pizza because vegetarian pizza is a different type of setup towards those pizzas. You have to compare vegetarian pizzas to other types of vegetarian pizzas and said this is the best type of vegetarian pizza. Or if you're going to compare vegetarian pizza, you have to compare it in a competition to other people who make vegetarian pizzas in their ovens, in their type of business. You can't compare a cheese pizza to a vegetarian pizza in a contest and says the winner is the cheese pizza. There are two types of pizzas totally. They're not the same type. When you're making a competition and competing against something, it has to be the same type of thing you're doing, made by different people, and who does the best at that same thing. Elden Ring is in a different genre, it has a different atmosphere, it has different settings, and it's not made for everyone. It's made for a specific type of people. No matter what anyone would say, Elden Ring does not have difficulty settings. It's just difficult. It's not made for kids. Kids can't play Elden Ring and expect to have fun. They'll get upset, run out the room, and complain to their parents. Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, both those games, you can adjust their settings. That's already a big difference between the type of games and the type of genre they're in. One is an action-adventure game. The other is a horror / medieval or dark fantasy. They're totally different type of pizzas. You can't say that game is better than this game. They're in a totally different feel. You can't say that game deserves Game of the Year over Horizon Forbidden West. Because then you are, if it's about winning the best award in the video game genre as a whole, then you have to look at all the inclusions that are within that game and all the best things are that makes up that specific game in their specific genre. And is it the best if what it does in their specific genre during that year? And then you have to factor in, after all that, after all that is done, tallying up everything it's including, telling how it tastes, telling how you feel about it. Then you have to include your personal thoughts. After you estimate everything within the game, after you remove all doubts, after you look at it logically, then you put yourself into the equation. Then you say, okay, this is what I think. Before it was more like what I think with regards to my job, but this is now what I think with regards to my opinion and how I feel. After everything has been tallied up from the business aspect of things and from the making aspects, because you gotta tally it up from, because awards aren't simply based on the player thinking this is best because I am having fun. You have to tally up the people putting the work into it. You have to tally up the time it takes to make it. You have to tally up the actually what's inside of the game itself. Then you have to tally up the game mechanics. Then you have to tally up compartmentalization. Then you have to tally up controllability and functionality. Then you have to tally up, after all that is done, the art world of the game, or different art aspects and clothing design and voice acting and all of that. And then you have to tally up, after all that is done, how it functions in different systems. Does it crash? Does it work well? Does it have many bugs? And once all that is done, then you factor in your opinion of, did you like it at the end? Was it fun at the end? Did you like it after you compare all stories and everything? Did you like it and was it fun? Did you feel good about it? And if you felt bad about it, or if you felt great about it, only then should your personal individual opinion factor into the equation. Because if you factor yourself into the equation early, then you're putting personal prejudice ahead of the time before actually looking at things from the logical point of view, from the very systematic point of view. When you're making a cake with love. But no matter how much you're making a cake with love, you still have to do things meticulously. You still have to put a specific amount of sugar in. You still have to put a specific amount of butter in. You still have to use a specific amount of flour. Depending on the consistency and the texture of the type of cake you're making, you have to know the amount that you want to make for that specific texture of that cake, and how specific fluff of that cake that you want. And if you put too much, it will come out. If you put too less, it'll be flat. So, that said, that's how that goes. I'm going to continue this game now. I just finished my little rant. You know, fake ass people got me upset. The Will Smiths of the world, that you thought you knew who they were, and you realize, you know, they're just another brother. You know, he's just a brother that has money, but at the end of the day, he's just another dude that could snap one day, you know. And that happens to the best of us, but honestly, the best of us don't do it out in the don't do it in front of a live audience. And when they do it in front of a live audience, then you know there's something mentally wrong. Remember when Kanye did it for that Taylor Swift? If anyone's watching this video, there's something mentally wrong with that brother. And since then, Kanye's been seen unstable. When Tom Cruise jumped on that sofa in front of Oprah, says, I love this person, it was something that scared the hell out of Oprah. Since then, everyone sees Tom Cruise as a person that's unstable. I mean, he knows how to keep himself professional, but there always have to be watching out for Tom Cruise. People always think that there's something wrong with Tom Cruise. That he has a death wish. That he's strange. That he's obsessed. Same thing with Mel Gibson when he made that movie, Passion of Christ. Ever since then, people have never looked at Mel Gibson the same. And the same thing that happens with Will Smith, it'll be the same. They will never look at him the same ever again. Because they'll know that whoever they grew up in watching and idolized and represented a positive thing within the black community, that person is gone. Replaced by whoever this person is. And I don't know the man enough to know his personal problems, but I know enough to know that regardless of your personal problems, you assault another man. If that man was as unstable as he was, as Will Smith was, that man would have probably get Will Smith ass kicked or get him shot and buried him somewhere. And then the cops would have come for that man. But Chris Rock is not that type of man. He didn't press charges, and he's letting it go. And he apologized for, I guess, offending Jada. But whether he apologized for offending Jada, it still doesn't matter. In the end of the day, you assaulted another man on live television. You know, the simple fact that Chris Rock did not press charges proves that he is the better man than Will Smith ever will be. No matter what anyone says. Because if Chris Rock wasn't the better man, he would have pressed charges if he wasn't the better man. He know he had offended Will Smith and Jada in some way, and he wanted to forget that that night even happened. And if I was in this place and someone did the same thing for me, I wouldn't press charges. I just know that something was happening with the brother. But I will not, should not, and at any point in the future, would ever associate myself with him, or his family, or his friends. And I believe that's what Chris Rock should do. Any business dealings he had with this gentleman on any project, acting or voice acting project, he should cancel those. Any association with him or any associate of him, of his family or of his friends or a business associate, he should excommunicate himself from those people. That's the only thing I could think that this gentleman should do. The only thing. If he's not going to press charges, he has to separate himself from this person for the rest of his life and treat him as a plague to society and to the rest of the acting world. Because that's how people view Tom Cruise. That he's unstable. That's how people see Mel Gibson. That he's unstable. That's how people see Shia LaBeouf. That you're unstable. And it's not simply how they see them. It's based on the actions that these people are actually doing. That you act a certain way, you commit certain things, and you put it into practice. Eventually people will see you for who you truly are. Not who you used to be, but who you are now. And once you cross that line, you can never go back. So he crossed that line. He's now Mel Gibson. now Tom Cruise. He's now Shia LaBeouf. It can never be taken back. The brother's a comedian. He makes bad jokes. He makes insulting jokes. That's his job. To hit a man simply because you didn't like the joke, because you believe this was personal attack on live television in front of the world, is a personal humiliation towards his character and his individuality. And that goes the same for people who play video games. When they lie to you and you kind of figure it after you test it out, or when they see certain games are better and you know it's not true based on practice and estimation and calculation and evaluation. That's what's happening here, also in Forbidden West. So my little rant is over. That's ones that say people bullshit about this and their so-called runs is nothing but fake ass cheating. They're the Will Smiths of the world. People that realize we're probably just average from the very beginning, and people put them on a high pedestal, and that's what happened with Will Smith. He was put on a high pedestal early, and people probably never saw him for who he really was, or who he ended up becoming down the road. And what happened at the Oscars, that's not Will Smith. That's who Will Smith became. He's that person now. He can never go back to being the same old Will Smith we all knew. That's who he is now. So, that's the way it is. Let's continue. Alright, so the challenge is completed.
Always makes for quite a thrill.
Oh yeah, and regards to the loading time for this character, the loading time only happens because of my game. My system is slow. So I'm gonna take a short break. I'm gonna continue this on. Well, I gotta see what time it is anyway. Should be, yeah, it's nearing around the time for me to get off. I just wanted to beat this guy and to prove that everyone's bullshit artists, and I did. And I wanted to give my opinions with regards to people who are associated and linked with this type of behavior that you see in games, and you see in reality when you walk down the street, and you see in movies, and you see in music. You know, the Kanye's, the Will Smith. Everyone has their breaking point, but only the foolish would do it in live public for the whole world to see, and ruin everything that they built so hard for. I don't understand this world. I don't understand why people want to cheat, bullshit and stuff. But that's all them. I have no time for them, and I ain't a Will Smith, and I ain't living his life and living in his shoes. And I don't understand his issues. But I do understand the law, and that man broke it. And fuck him for it.
Champion, you looking for a challenge?